Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking a part of your Sunday to join us here for the New Year's Resolution 70. I'm Hannah Newhouse, joined as always by Rusty Walrus. And Rusty, we're back at it again here today on this Sunday for the New Year's Resolution 70, and it's going to be an interesting one. We're taking on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course for the first time here on NASCAR Heat 5. How excited are you?
Oh, you know I'm coming in excited every single time, but you said it, first time ever in Winter Heat Series and Pro League history, we are headed to the Indianapolis Road Course. This game was just added into NASCAR Heat 5 as free downloadable content, so if you boot up the game, it's in there and you can play it, but we have about over 40 of the best drivers in the world ready to compete, $10,000 in prize pool on the line, and there's 6 drivers looking to punch their ticket into the Winter Heat Series Championship in a few weeks, so this is going to be insane.
We already have a couple of drivers that have managed to punch their way in throughout November and December. They're getting their chance again today. But let's take a look here at how today's show is going to run along. So first off here, we've got our green flag. It's going to be our Xbox. And then going with Xbox, it'll run with our PlayStation folks. Again, 3 drivers from each platform are going to try and lock into our final race, that Valentine's Day race, February 13th, where we will crown a Winter Heat Series winner. It's going to be exciting. And Rusty, to be able to compete for that, we're going to give these guys an extra opportunity. Originally, we were going to try and get everyone together for a live event. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's just not going to be able to happen. So we've got a new opportunity for those that want to still partake in the Winter Heat Series.
Yeah, so for a handful of drivers that aren't able to make it into that championship race, we are going to open up qualifying lobbies once again, so you guys can race your way in to compete in the championship. So it's not just assigned to the guys that race their win. You can join these Pro League drivers and the guys that have raced in. So if you got an Xbox and a PlayStation, the opportunity is there for you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And we asked a lot of our drivers before going into today's race, what are their New Year's resolution? It only makes sense to have some New Year's resolutions for the New Year's Resolution 70. So let's take a look at what some of our drivers had to say.
Hi, my name is Matthew Selby, otherwise known as Bulldog 46X.
Hi, my name is Sean Anderson.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom from Xbox.
My name is TJ McGowan.
What's up, guys? Joe Gornick here.
My New Year's resolution.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is...
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to spend more time with my family and friends.
This is Boehner, and my New Year's resolution is to be a great husband. Just got married 2 weeks ago, so looking to kick off 2021 with a great marriage.
My New Year's resolution is pretty tricky.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to try to not make it 3 years in a row getting wrecked by Stuart Haas cars.
Hey guys, it's John Freeman, also known as McLovin Racing Online, and my New Year's resolution is to make the Pro League.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to be more grateful.
Hello, Louis Zader here, and my 2021 New Year's resolution is to become the next Pro League champion.
My New Year's resolution is to cherish every second with my wife and my daughter, and to continue doing what I love in racing.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to beat the man, Kyle Arnold, in a road course race.
Just to learn more patience. That was a lot of my problem last year, and learn from my prior mistakes last season.
To make people laugh, to help out in this crazy time we're living in.
One, I want to go win an eNASCAR championship. I'm determined, I'm ready, and I haven't had this much confidence in my whole entire eNASCAR career, so I'm ready to go.
And we'll start by getting better on road courses.
My New Year's resolution for 2021 is really just to finish up my private pilot training and to strive for perfection in everything I do.
My New Year's resolution is to try new things similar to what Jimmy Johnson's doing in IndyCar next season.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is pretty simple. make Season 3 of the NASCAR Heat Pro League and go out there and perform.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to win more Pro League races and get more gear wrench tools.
But the other one is probably eating as many honey butter croissants as possible. Butters, what do you think about that? He's pretty content with that. I think we're going to go with that as the resolution.
My 2021 New Year's resolution is to take more hikes with my wife and my dog Barney.
My New Year's resolution is to be more competitive.
My New Year's resolution is to drive the wheels off the car.
My New Year's resolution for 2021 is to try to stay healthy and put Big John on the wall.
Let's go.
Lots of great New Year's resolutions there. A couple of them really shooting high here with being the next Pro League champion. I love the one about Kyle Arnold needing to be beat on a road course. We may see that happen today. That is something that someone may be able to achieve today. But just quick correction for you guys. We actually are going to be rolling off PlayStation first. So we will do PlayStation and then Xbox in order of tonight's events. And Rusty, it's been about a month, like we said, since we were on track here last with the NASCAR Winter Heat Series. So if you weren't able to join us in December, let's take a look at last time out here on the PlayStation platform.
Green flag, green flag, green flag! Kyle Arnold is leading them down to the first quarter here on the PlayStation 4 side.
We know Maxwell Castro, Rusty, and whoa, contact here. We're spinning at the back of the pack.
But we're going 2-3 wide. Big shake. Oh, there! Around goes Kyle Arnold. We talked about this right on cue. Moves to 96 out of the way. Penninger, he didn't even give him a corner. He just said, get out of the way. I'm going forward. But look at that. You can't ask for anything better than this.
Riding along here with Kyle Arnold slowly picking his way back up at the front one by one. And whoa, big drive there by Cody Giles to the rear bumper of Joey Stone. We're riding along board with.
He feels like, we see some contact there back in the pack. He's able to, no, he pulled it back up into the field. And he's holding him down. That's what you got to do. Joey Stone has flipped the switch. He's being aggressive here. Keep an eye on the barriers. We're riding on board with him. He might get aggressive to try to win this race.
And a big move the moment that you say that. Oh, big wreck between fourth on back. Look, 3 laps to go. We've got a shootout here at Homestead for the PlayStation platform. White flag is in the air as you can throw a blanket over the top 5 right now. The 2 almost side by side. Stone, Cody Giles, though, will get that win. Joey Stone second, Kyle Arnold and Smallwood fourth, Mike Ross fifth. And a wild holiday 60 it was, Rusty. We saw a lot of carnage, a lot of melee take place. Eventually, 3 guys locking themselves into the finale. And I think that has set a precedent for today's race at the road course. I mean, we sent them to Homestead, Miami, and they just went for it. Now we're going to throw them on a road course that there's not a lot of experience on when it comes down to it. And really one opportunity left here to lock in. I think we're in for some big punches that are going to be thrown.
I've been trying to predict this race for over a month. A lot of these guys have been practicing this track since it launched. These guys, literally thousands and thousands of laps have been put in, and they're trying to mentally prepare for what's going to happen. The big area that I keep thinking about is turn 1. What is going to happen when all these guys send it off there and down into turn 1? We're getting a good onboard look at a lot of these guys here in their rigs here with the Fanatec wheels. Some guys are on controllers, different preference and comfortability for each driver. But I love seeing just the emotions before the big race starts.
And let's take a look here at also who is already locked in. Maxwell Castro, Chase Williamson, Cody Giles, Joey Stone, Kyle Arnold, and Isaac Smallwood. Those 6 drivers at the moment are the only one locked in. So everyone else on this screen here, they have to work to get themselves locked in. Again, qualifiers will open again for a second opportunity that first week of February to try and qualify for the Valentine's Day race in the finale. But these guys all want to lock themselves in with a win, Rusty. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh, yeah, and there's a couple guys out there that really, really want to head to Daytona because that's their best track. So a guy like Mike Bratz, Josh Harbin, man, these guys, they're feeling the pressure to advance through this race. They don't have to qualify again because they, like you saw Josh Harbin in the Pro League Season 2, he went out, won that race, held off Mike Bratz, but those guys aren't locked in yet. So I got to believe they're feeling that pressure and they got to perform, and they've been practicing, putting in a ton of laps. So those are 2 guys to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, none of our Pro League drivers are locked in, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare in trying to keep up with some of the rookies that have joined us here in the Winter Heat Series, also vying for positions during the NASCAR Heat Pro League Series season. So Rolling off here on the front row, we'll get to our starting lineup just shortly. Maxwell Castro, he has been one to watch this entire winter heat series as well as during the Pro League. On the outside of him is Isaac Smallwood, though.
Yeah, Isaac Smallwood is going to be a guy to watch. He came in through the qualifiers, so that guy's got a lot of real speed. But Kyle Arnold, this guy, he's taken over for the Season 1 Pro League champion, Brandon Gritton. Brandon Gritton has stepped aside and retired from esports competition, so Kyle Arnold has switched over from a championship caliber team over into a former champions ride, and that car is going to be fast. And outside him is Joe Gornick. Keep an eye on him. He's got some of the best pace in road courses in the game.
And row 3, Josh Harbin, who is hungry for one of these wins here in the Winter Heat Series. And outside of him, newcomer Vinny McDonald starting in 6th.
Starting row 4, Chase Williamson. He's already locked into the championship race in a few weeks. And outside in P8 is Grant Salzano.
Following up the next row in row 5 is Scott Brown. And starting in 10th outside of him is Forrest Hamilton.
Row 6 here, we got Joey Stone. He's still looking for his first career win. Almost got it a few weeks back at Homestead. Let's see if he's going to try to get it done here today. And right on his outside, P12 is my buddy, Raw Gator. Trade, no, go get it, pal.
In row 7, you've got Mike Ross, one of our NASCAR Heat Pro Leaguers. Outside of him, though, is George Taylor rolling off in 14th.
In 15th, we got Corey Rothgeb. He's going to need a strong day to get to Daytona. He can win Daytona, so a lot of pressures on Corey. Matt Smith, we got another newcomer here on the outside, row 18.
And in row 9, Cody Giles, again, he is already locked in, so he's able to take a sigh of relief here in this and, pick away at some starting positions. And in row 9 and 18th is TJ McGowan.
And we still have one more pace left to go here, but in row 10 is Tyler McMurder and Thomas Kohia, keeping the eye on these guys coming from the back. It's going to be really tough to make their way forward, starting that deep in the field.
In 21st and 22nd, making up row 11th, is John Freeman and James Adam Morse. Again, no qualifying times taken for these two drivers.
And rounding out the field, we have Josh Parker. I believe he's coming in from that 24-hour race at Daytona. And on his outside is Joe West. Let's see these guys. They didn't qualify, so they got a lot of work to do, but they got the talent to get it done.
And that is your starting lineup for the PlayStation race today for the New Year's Resolution 70. Maxwell Castro and Isaac Smallwood on your front row. You're going to call it here, Rusty. I think our first lap going into turn 1 here is going to be a little crazy.
Yeah, they've been told when they can kind of bring the field to the green flag and when that restart zone is. But keep an eye on Maxwell Castro to get an early jump, because you're going to want as much room on the guys behind you heading off into turn 1. And anybody that's played this track online or even with your friends, no matter how many laps, how many races you've done, heading off into turn 1 will make you extremely nervous, and you just bracing for impact from those guys coming from behind. So I'm just very interested how they're going to treat turn 1. Are they going to send it, or are they going to be 3-4 wide? Because there's an opportunity to throw it way down into that corner and pick up some spots. But Maxwell Castro, look for a good jump on the start here.
And if you've seen this race live and in person or even on TV when NASCAR did visit here last year, entertainment the entirety of the race, swapping back and forth. And it's going to be on these drivers to police themselves. They've been told, when it comes to the contact, because there will be contact in both of these races today, to say the least, they're going to have to police themselves and hopefully not get the, officials involved in this. But we're coming down the front stretch here to go ahead and get the green flag for the first time here on NASCAR Heat 5. We will take the green flag at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Green flag is in the air for the PlayStation drivers.
Really good jump from Maxwell Castro. Kind of got Gornick sleeping there a little bit, but he's going to really set it off down in there and hit the braking zone perfectly as they start to filter out through turns 1 and 2.
Joe Gornick slips back to that third position. Smallwood takes advantage of it. Maxwell Castro and Smallwood starting to slowly break away from a pack, and behind him, a couple drivers off-road out into the sand. Looks like that is Josh Harbin, so he'll try and jump back on the course without causing any contact. He does so, loses a handful of positions, also got one spinning and in the wall. We'll see if that brings out a caution, but Maxwell Castro right now clean and green out front with Smallwood hot on his tail.
Yeah, this track gets pretty narrow pretty fast in the first couple corners, so they're trying to make up some room 2x2 back there. Maybe they put it 3 wide, and once you get off into the grass or into the sand, you lose the grip and you'll just spin it around. So we saw early Josh Harbin and some other competitors are off the track, and their race is probably over unless the yellow comes out and kind of equalizes the field. But so a little bit of heartbreak in the first couple corners. That's the last thing they wanted to have happen. Maybe we'll get a replay to see what happened, but it's an unfortunate start for those guys. But Isaac Smallwood, this is the guy I talked to before the race. He's got all the confidence in the world. He told me after he made it through the home set of race, he thought he could have won, but also outperformed some of the Pro League drivers. He's just ready to go. He's locked in, and he thinks he can pick up his first win here today. He's one of the guys that have made it in through the qualifiers. So Isaac Smallwood, he could go for a big upset and shock the world and beat Maxwell Castro. We'll see.
Yeah, those two really breaking away from the rest of the field. Ooh, little wobble there from one of our drivers down the front stretch as he goes down into turn 1. That first lap is complete. You mentioned, Rusty, how quickly these turns will get narrow on you, really not allowing for consistent side-by-side racing like we see at places when we go to Watkins Glen or Mid-Ohio. It really is a racetrack about setting each other up, waiting for the next one to make mistakes, and it's really a racetrack that honestly promotes a little bit of the bump and run.
Yeah, they got a lot of high-speed straightaways that set up for really hard braking zones, so you can really send it on in there if you want to and kind of take advantage of the competitors in front of you. But you mentioned you got to have patience. You kind of got to ride in line because that might be faster than trying to go side by side, and you might kind of cause each other to make a mistake and go off the racetrack, maybe get a penalty. So they got to kind of pick their spots, pick and choose, but you can't wait too long because this race is going to be over before you know it, and you got to make up spots and work your way forward, and it's just, really, really tough place to pass cleanly, because everybody's so competitive and close on their lap times as is. So you gotta get what you can get, but you gotta take care of the guys on your outside as well.
Castro and Smallwood right now look like they are on cruise control, just pacing each other, about 5-10 car lengths between your first and second place runner. Gornick, though, starting to make a little bit of room, catching up to Smallwood here. He's put some distance between himself and fourth place, which is Vinny McDonald. Again, started up front there in the 6th spot, but currently running in the 4th with Chase Williamson in 5th behind him. So we're starting to see our top 4 really break away from the field, but that's leaving clusters of drivers behind them battling for these top 5 positions.
Yeah, we're kind of getting a good peek here at Joe Gornick here. He's had a lot of bad luck at road courses. Everybody's told me he's one of the best and fastest drivers in the game at these road courses, but in the Pro League, he's had a lot of bad luck heading off in the first couple corners, and he's eliminated before the race even gets started. So I gotta believe Joe is in a good spot right now mentally. He's in the top 3. He's right. You can still see the leader. So I got a feeling he's just in a zone right now, clicking laps, and maybe he'll work his way to get his first ever career win here. But we got a car spun around, but a little bit of contact. But yeah, impressive run to start off the day for Joe Gornick.
Looks like that was Chase Williamson that did get spun around, was running in the 5th position, quickly dropping back now outside of the top 10. So tough break for Williamson. Fortunately, already locked into that finale, started 7th and quickly dropped outside of the top 10. So 15 laps still left to go here, though, at the Indianapolis Road Course. Maybe some time that he'll be able to catch back up here with everyone. Again, we do have a pit window as well between 10 to 11 laps, and I think that's where we're going to see some big movers and shakers here, Rusty, is some of these guys maybe holding back a little bit, waiting for the field to cycle through. But how everything's playing out right now, you can't really bank on a caution, Rusty, to throw off this pit cycle.
Yeah, you're really expecting this thing to go green start to finish in both these races here today, unless there's a really big pileup. And there's a couple zones on the track where it can happen. That's one of them where they kind of funnel together, but they make it through there clean. Heading down when you return to the front straightaway, the oval straightaway, when you make that right-hand corner, that's a place where cars get sideways and kind of collect some cars. So it doesn't happen frequently, but that's why they plan their race pitting strategy around a green flag run. So you said it, 10 to 11 laps, and they're going to try to put that all the way to those 11 laps if they can make it, because when they come in and pit, they'll put less fuel in the car, and then they'll be faster at the end of this race. So expect a lot of these guys to be on a similar strategy. We see Chase Williamson, he's trying to make up these spots after spinning early. He's not holding back. I'd love to see the hard racing here from the 78.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to make up ground, and he's doing so quickly. Like I said, he dropped outside of the top 10 with that spin. Currently in the 9th spot, looking to pass for the 8th spot here, taking that position away from Trey Normile. They're going to go hard into the braking zone of turn 1 here. He's on that inside, so he has the preferred line. Trey giving it to him. He's got Cody Giles hot on their tail as well. You can see here that Williamson definitely frustrated with that spin earlier on, taking those positions away from him, because you can just tell, Rusty, when a driver gets frustrated, when they're mad, because it seems to be that they kick it in high gear. So 14 laps to go. He's still got time, already in that 8th spot.
Yeah, Chase is wheeling it right now. You can see him pull the distance on Trey Normile and Cody Giles back there at about 10th, but he is on it. He really sets it off down into that left-hander. You see Trey lose a couple spots, but yeah, Chase Williamson will be fun to watch the rest of the way. Let's see how many spots he can pick up here. And there's still money. If he doesn't win the race, that's okay, because there's still a prize pool and some cash opportunities for him to take home. So he's still going to keep pushing to the very end.
14 laps left to go here in the book at the Indianapolis Road Course for our PlayStation drivers. Ooh, contact with 2 drivers in front before they go into this turn 1, or this sweeper here. Again, it gets narrow on you extremely quick here at the road course, really leaving no room for mistakes. So Josh Harbin currently under fire by Josh Parker. Again, Josh Parker has made up some room. He started at the tail end of the field in 23rd, currently battling inside the top 20 right now with Josh Harbin. We saw Harbin go off track early on in the race as well, able to get back on the racing surface. These 2 pro leaguers, Rusty, have a lot of laps around each other, now battling for 12th and 13th. These 2 have raced around each other a lot.
Yeah, a lot of laps, a lot of history. Both of these drivers are multi-time winners in the Pro League in Season 2. But you see Josh Harbin go off track. He avoided a penalty there, which is huge, because if you go off track a little bit too far, you're going to get a 5-second penalty. It brings your car to a complete stop, and you just got to wait. You got to wait out those 5 seconds, and then you can get rolling again. So it kind of comes out to about like a 15-second penalty, all things considered. So it was very crucial for Josh not to get another just incident on his race here today. But Josh Parker is pressuring him. He's right there. Josh Parker is the race winner. Josh Parker, he competes in all forms of racing. Look at him. I love this onboard view. You can hear the car, like his shifting points, his braking points. So if you want to see how to get faster at a track like this, just listen to when he's shifting and kind of turn into these corners. It's a beautiful thing. My favorite part is when you're going down the straightaway, you can hear the RPMs just pegged, and it's like, okay, when are they going to break? When are they going to break? And Josh Parker waits till like the absolute last second and makes up a ton of ground there. So as you can see them coming back down the straightaway here, but looks like Josh Harbin might have shaved a little bit. Always cool to get a view at Josh. He's one of the biggest personalities in the league. So yeah, he's probably a little bit frustrated, but it's cool to see him out here on the racetrack.
And you said it there, how much room he gained on Josh Harbin, Josh Parker in the rearview mirror there, really sending it into turn 1. Again, some of these drivers on Fanatec wheels, some of them on controllers as well. And interesting to see how this all pans out, because this is one of the road courses that we deal with a lot of banking changes going up onto the actual race surface of the Brickyard racetrack and then back down onto the flattened area of the road course. So that has been posing a challenge for some of our drivers going back and forth onto that. Max Castro, though, in a league of his own right now, 3.5-second lead over Isaac Smallwood, who runs in second. Joe Gornick almost 6 seconds behind our leader of Maxwell Castro. No one seems to really be in his realm right now, Rusty.
Yeah, this is just Maxwell Castro doing what he does. This Ganassi driver, both the Ganassi drivers are they're not even road course ringers, they're road course experts. They're 2 of the best drivers in the game period. Maxwell Castro's always got a penalty there. Maxwell Castro's always in contention. It seems like him and Kyle Arnold come down to the final corner the last lap every time we head to these. But right now, Castro has checked out. I've been DMing him too. He's been putting in thousands of laps. Even though he's already in the championship, he still wants to go out there and dominate and get wins for his sponsor Gear Wrench. So just a really impressive run for Maxwell Castro to start today's event.
And riding along here with the Smithfield machine. Ooh, contact there for the driver in front of him. A little contact with the wall. That would be Tyler McMurder in that Gibbs entry. A little contact with the outside wall. Looks to have done no real damage, though, in the 10 Smithfield machine. I believe is piloted by Kyle Arnold, correct?
Yeah, Kyle Arnold is in the 14 car. He replaced the season 1 champion Brandon Gritton. I just mentioned him. He seems to always be in contention for the win with Maxwell Castro. So he's working his way forward. It looks like he had some issues early on, but this is a really fun driver to watch in this game. He's competitive at ovals, road courses, and the plate tracks. But he's just you were right on board with Kyle. What up, Kyle? So that 12 car around was that might have been.
It looks like it's Thomas Kohik who's in the 12.
Yeah. Thank you, Hannah.
Whew, that was a close call for Kyle Arnold. I mean, he came around the corner and Kohik was just stuck there. Looks like Kyle Arnold didn't get any of that damage, but man, one of those things that happens here at road courses, you have a lot of stuff that's blind and not in your sight. But hey, we've got cars coming down pit road right now, Rusty.
Yeah, they came a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but you can see a little bit different strategy between Kyle and his other competitors, but you can expect the whole field to come in within the next lap or two. So we talked about different strategies. There is about a 2-lap kind of difference between competitors out there, but Maxwell Castro, he's going to push this thing as far as he can go and then pull in. So we'll see if he pulls in right here, but these guys are going to take 4 tires and gas. Everyone in the field will. If you're thinking about tire wear, it's really kind of based on your setup, but that left front seems to really get cooked, at least when I'm driving the thing. So you got to come down, take 4 and fill it up with fuel. But yeah, right. Oh yeah, Maxwell Castro pulls off down the access road, and the race leader is pitting.
One of the big challenges here as well, as we talk about blind spots, making sure that you get off of pit road. One of the difficulties here in the Joey Stone.
Stone with the penalty.
Man, tough break for Joey Stone. Looks like he's trying to get off of the racing surface here. You can see some frustration on that driver's face. Was looking for another good run today. What's going on here, Rusty?
No. Oh, no. I thought it was a penalty at first because that's one of the areas of the racetrack where you just barely go off. You get the penalty. He might have getting a good look at him right now. He's frustrated, but he might be out of gas. He might be out of gas, but I raced him the other day where he had flat tires and he was kind of driving around like this, but he has to be out of gas right now. Joey, what happened, man, buddy? Man, this is heartbreak for him. He was practicing until 5 a.m. the other day. So that's just I know he's going to be disappointed. You saw the emotions right there in the driver, the number 8.
Man, tough break for him trying to stay off of the racing surface. Again, everyone's still cycling through pit road, though. Gornick, Salzano, Harbin, Arnold, Williamson, Mike Bross, Cody Giles, all down pit road right now. I believe we did have Maxwell Castro come down pit road, correct? Or has he still not come down? Okay, perfect. Yeah, Maxwell Castro.
Oh man, look at right on board there with Maxwell Castro, how late he breaks into that corner. I usually brake right before those, like, kind of the curbs. You see those little rumble strips, the turtles on the side. I brake before you get to those. He was like already halfway down into that zone and then still made the corner. So this is an expert I mean, what else can you say about Maxwell Castro? Dominant every road course. He's putting on a show right now.
Poor Joey Stone trying to limp back down to pit road, like you said. Looks like he may have run out of fuel. But one of the things I love about road courses like this, it just provides excitement. You know these drivers are having fun as well. I grew up around short track racing, pavement oval racing, but I actually grew up doing road course racing in flat carts and go-karts. And racing a road course was always one of the things that I wanted to do on my bucket list, because I feel like drivers get out of the car more times than not, regardless of their finish, and they say it's the most fun they've had. And I feel like that relates to these drivers as well. They all look like they're having fun out there swapping, fenders, trying to calculate each other's moves. But Maxwell Castro right now in an absolute league of his own, almost 4 seconds over Isaac Smallwood. Joe Gornick still in that 3rd spot. Salzano, though, up to the 4th position, started in the 8th position. So a good run for him so far, especially Rusty, because again, if you're already locked into the finale, we basically just move the selection picks down those positions. So right now, both Castro and Smallwood are locked in. So our top 3 that would lock in would be Gornick, Salzano, and McDonald.
Yeah, perfect timing to bring this up because, yeah, Castro and Smallwood are locked in, but the guys 3rd, 4th, and 5th, in the position they're running, they're going to advance into that Winter Heat Series championship. So very, very just pressure-packed situation right now. Gornick's got to stay in the track. Salzano, McDonald, They really just got to click laps, stay focused, and just have patience and just run your race. Kind of turn off your mirror. Don't even look at the graphics on your screen. Just run your race. Get to the end. As you see, Salzano, Gornick swap spots. they're not being patient. Salzano's working his way forward. But yes, that is the line to watch right now. Is the guys trying to punch their ticket to get in to the Winter Heat Series Championship.
And if you've ever watched a race where there involves a transfer spot, the last place you want to be is the final transfer spot. And right now, that driver is McDonald, I believe, or actually, it's Brown who is that transfer spot at the moment because Salzano and Gornick have swapped those positions. Or no, McDonald would be our transfer spot. So being in that spot, that's a little target on your back because you're the first car that will be out if someone takes that position from you. So McDonald definitely going to have to drive with a little bit of elbows up. Vinnie McDonald in that 73 position. So 7 laps to go right here. We're riding along with the 38 machine.
Here we go. Joe Gornick, this is the battle for third place. You see they're not being patient. Oh, it goes off the track just a little bit. That's okay. You don't really spin the tires too much out there. But yeah, really good battle here for P3.
Joe Gornick sending it down into that turn 1 off the race course. Just in front of him goes Salzano, but he's able to maintain. Both of these drivers taking very different racing lines. You can tell that they're putting everything out there. Joe Gornick obviously a little frustrated, wants that third position back. So doing everything he can to get there, and sometimes that puts you in overdrive mode. You know, you watched Joe drive it in a little bit hard into turn 1, and that turn 1 here, driving it a little bit hard, and it's tough to get slowed down. You can't, there's no room for mistakes on this course, Rusty.
Yeah, you know, Joe, you can tell he's put in 1,000 laps to go to have that comfortability to still send it in there really, really hard at this point in the race. I mean, if this was me, I'd probably choke it and go way out, miss turn 1, and maybe get a penalty. But these guys, they're the best in the business. But we got to keep an eye on McDonald. He's pulling a little bit of a gap on Brown for 6. But hey, anything can happen, especially when you see like the laps ticking down. You maybe start getting in your head a little bit and get a little nervous. But when you have all that practice and it should be. Oh, that was a little bit of a risky move for the 00. Usually when you put like that amount of your car outside of the little rumble strips there, you will get a penalty. So, as we see, looks like the 16 might have just got a penalty for going off track. And Kyle Arnold's still working his way forward with a beat up nose, and that's definitely slowing him down.
Oh man. These two getting a little aggressive with each other, Cody Giles and Kyle Arnold. Like you said, Kyle Arnold with a beat-up front fender of his race car right now. Seems to give the position back to Cody, who's back on the race course. And I spoke too soon. Back off the race course for Cody Giles. Something clearly going wrong there for him, who's usually pretty decent here at road courses. Having a tough run today here, though, at the Indy Road Course.
You can see it. He missed the braking point, kind of missed the corner, but he's still wheeling that thing. He's probably a little bit frustrated. But Kyle and Cody, those guys are buddies on and off the racetrack, so they're probably having fun back there racing. But this is what you live for at the Indianapolis Road Course. Going back and forth, outbraking each other. You see Gornick back on Salzano here for P3. This is going to be a really tight corner right here through that little chicane. Gornick wisely lifted because he could put yourself in a bad position to get a penalty, but they're still racing each other side by side. Let's see who's going to outbrake each other into the corner.
Looks like Salzano still with that preferred front position. Joe Gornick a little too wide on that corner. Salzano doing a great job of almost playing protect mode. Still keeping that momentum out, keeping his car sweeping enough to where he's able to carry that momentum to get through the corners, but also not giving enough room that if Gornick wanted to put his nose in there for that position, he'd probably still have to back out for it. So Salzano running a really smart race. Ooh, little aggressive into that corner, though, able to get it slowed down and still keep Gornick behind him. Spoke too soon, Rusty.
Yeah, this is great stuff. Salzano's like, all right, just go, get away from me. I need to run my race, click these laps, and quit going off into the grass. But yeah, Gornick was putting the pressure on him, and I think that was a very wise move of them because currently as they run, they are locked in. I know it's a lot of fun to race, and you want to finish in that top 3 spot, but Salzano wisely kind of let Gornick go right there. Oh, this is the lap car kind of hooked it off into the inside barrier.
Looked like the 34 of Freeman into the inside wall there. Like you said, it was already a lap down, so not really contending for position at that moment. Staying green, though. Salzano still trying to track back down Joe Gornick. 4 laps to go, so time quickly winding out. But I think you're right, Rusty. I think these guys need to play smart because right now they are locked in. But our friends over at IT Consulting in St. Petersburg, Motorsports Games and IT St. Pete, we're giving away a high-performance Portal EV router. Basically, it gives you worry-free Wi-Fi and extended coverage with 9 built-in antennas. So this allows you to have 99.9% lag and latency-free Wi-Fi experience. No more fighting over Wi-Fi like we do in our house. Sounds like I need to call ITC St. Pete. We're giving away those, so you can follow the rules on our giveaway post on social media and get your chance to win one of these routers. So thanks to our friends over at IT Consulting. Josh Parker, though, back here playing the aggressive game with Cody Giles, swapping back and forth. It looks like Giles still with the preferred position, but Josh Parker not giving up.
Yeah, Josh Parker kind of wisely like Cody go right there. That's not a spot you want to put it too wide. So he's just showing a lot of patience right here. But he's so far back from the cutoff point. A little bit of heartbreak for Josh Parker. Currently not able to punch his ticket in, but he still will have an opportunity in the coming weeks to race his way into Daytona through the qualifiers. And once again, if you're tuning in right now, you'll have the same opportunity to race with these drivers in the Winter Heat Series Championship. All you need is an Xbox and a PlayStation, and the qualifying lobbies will go live. So you can go up there, put your time up there, and you can compete for a whole lot of money and get your name recognized by some of these teams coming up for the Winter Heat Series finale, but also the Pro League Season 3 that's coming soon. I can't wait to hear details about that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's always interesting and so fun to watch how teams select their drivers. And if you haven't or are relatively new to the actual NASCAR Heat Pro League Series, it's a great opportunity for these drivers to be represented and represent NASCAR teams and drivers. You know, they're very involved with the team's marketing side of things. The crew chiefs, the car chiefs, I mean, they are working alongside of these NASCAR teams to develop the best esports team that you possibly can here on the NASCAR Heat platform. And again, we crown a champion at the end of every season as well. Usually a pretty good prize pack involved as well. Our reigning champion, Daniel Buttafuoco, who will race a little bit later on the Xbox platform. But Maxwell Castro, one to watch for sure going into the qualifiers as well as the Pro League season this up and coming season. Currently still leading over 4 seconds over Smallwood. Gornick and Salzano still with a little bit of, Joey Stone, he's made it back on the racetrack here, Rusty, and seems to be hanging out with our friend here in the 20 car, going back and forth, but we're glad to have Joey back on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's always great to get Joey in these races. He has qualified in the championship, so even though he's had another really rough day with some bad luck, some unfortunate circumstances, he's safe. He's good. He's going to be there at Daytona, and I know he's ready for Daytona. He's got the car underneath him to go win his first career race. But yeah, Joey, that's what happens when you miss turn 1 there. He's going a little bit wide here. Maybe he's just kind of riding right now, trying to get to the end of the race. He's probably, we talked about, he's probably frustrated. But yeah, if you want a guy to pull for in the Pro League, trying to get their first win, big personality, loves chatters, hey, that's your guy right there. Oh, he gets another penalty.
Today is just not Joey Stone's day. We'll just rack it up to that. Today, this Sunday, Joey Stone is just not having a great day. And apparently neither is the 20 of Tyler McMurder as well. Heavy damage on the front end of his Craftsman mobile. Tough break for Tyler McMurder. I know he was going back and forth with Joey Stone. Sometimes it's just not your day, and sometimes it's really not your day. And that is the case for both of these drivers. They'll have second chances, though, to fortunately try once again for those qualifiers the first week of February. Luckily for Joey Stone, when it rains, it pours, but don't worry, he is locked in, and you know he is thankful for that right now, Rusty.
Yeah, he's just ready to get out of Indianapolis. We're on the final lap right here, riding on board with Maxwell Castro. He's been the man, led them to the green flag. He's going to lead them to the checkers as long as he makes it through here clean. But a 5-second lead over Isaac Smallwood. Unbelievable performance from Maxwell Castro. I can't wait to see the celebration, Hannah.
Maxwell Castro trying to do it once again here on the NASCAR Heat 5 platform. You see it there, arms in the air. Maxwell Castro, a winner here once again in the Winter Heat Series. Collecting a pretty good little paycheck that we'll talk about with him later. Ooh, coming to the checkered flag, though. These two have not let it fall out yet. It'll be Gornick. It'll be Smallwood, Gornick, and Salzano here for your top 4. Brown coming home in the top 5. So we'll talk to these drivers here in a little bit to see how everything's shaked out. Great win, though, for Maxwell Castro. Man, he dominated, Rusty.
Yeah, incredible performance. This guy is the man. Like, if you're showing up to a road course and Maxwell Castro's in the race, that is the man, the guy to beat. We talked about the Ganassi drivers being 2 of the best. He proves it every time he's out there. And so an incredible win by Castro. But we got to talk about Gornick, Salzano, and Brown. They have punched their tickets into the championship race for the Winter Heat Series. So Joe Gornick had a lot of bad luck in the Pro League season races at these road courses, but he finally put it all together to be the first guy on the leaderboard to get that ticket punched in. So congratulations, Joe Gornick, on getting to the championship race.
Yeah, I think this is a good turn of events for him. You mentioned it earlier on in the race, Rusty. Last season, the Pro League season, wasn't necessarily too kind for him, just couldn't seem to catch a break. Bad luck was in the way, but carrying some momentum like this into the 3rd season of the Pro League, I think could do good things for Joe Gornick, whether he stays with Junior Motorsports, becomes a free agent, or lands at a new team. I think this is the momentum that Gornick needs to carry into this upcoming season.
I completely agree. It's going to give him that confidence. It's got to be a really good feeling. Yeah, just to put it all together. Same for Grant Salzano and Brown P5. These are the drivers that raced their way in through the qualifiers, and they got recognized here on the big stage with the bright lights on. So really, I'm really impressed by those guys, because there's Pro League drivers that were out there sharing the racetrack with them, and they went out there and kind of spanked them. So just a really, really impressive drive.
Yeah, 3 of our top 10 finishers just now on the PlayStation are Pro League drivers. Everyone else, newcomers. They're newcomers here to the NASCAR Heat 5, Winter Series, and they're trying to vie for their position here for some new teams. And I think, like you said, Rusty, we've had some guys that have shown up, including Isaac Smallwood finishing 2nd today, who's really turned some heads and drawn the support of some of these teams. So I'm looking forward to how and when they announce how they're going to do the draft, how things are going to pan out for this next season. Because there's some of these Pro League drivers, listen, I love them. They're my friends. I've gotten to know them. But there's a couple Pro League drivers that should probably be a little worried, wouldn't you say? I mean, we've got some tough guys that have come on here and proven that they can hang with the big boys.
Yeah, when Isaac Smallwood and Chase Williamson show up and they're running top 5 consistently against the best in the game, the Pro League drivers, they're out racing them, out running them, making it look easy. That's what it's all about, is getting their name recognized by some of these teams. I'm so proud of those qualifier drivers.
Well, again, Maxwell Castro winning the race along with Isaac Smallwood finishing 2nd. They're already locked in, though, so they're good to go. So we're going to talk to the next guy that's locked in here, Joe Gornick, coming home in that 3rd position. And it's been a long ride for Joe Gornick to get here. Joe, first and foremost, congratulations. It was a crazy battle there, the latter half of the race with Salzano. Eventually, you coming home in that 3rd spot, but you're locked in to the finale here in the Winter Heat Series. What are the emotions?
I am so excited because of the monkey I had to get off my back. The way Pro League went for me last year, it wasn't as what I expected. I really got crushed because my expectations were high. To come into here at the Indy Roval for Junior Motorsports and Brant and just deliver, get locked in. It means so much. I've been working hard. It wasn't showing all season last year during the Pro League, but it showed up today, and that's what matters.
Yeah, Joe, I'm so unbelievably proud of you. All the drivers talk about how good of a road course driver you are, and we talked about you finally put it together today. But what was going through your mind after you cleared turn 1? Did you just kind of how did you manage your race from that point forward once you realized you're kind of locked in and had good position?
That's a good question, Rusty. I really tried to start off my car a lot tighter because I like a car that's sideways. That's why I don't use a shifter. I'm always wheeling it, and I just had to pace myself. I set the car up a lot tighter than I wanted to, but I knew gas was going to be a determining factor as well, and just tried to pace myself. And I know I got kind of close and wiggly there aside of red. The tires, I didn't warm them up enough on the pace laps, and I apologize for that. I saw a red one off course, but yeah, it was a matter of managing fuel, managing tires. And I love this track. I mean, people complain about it, but it's so demanding. But once you get the hang of it, it's so much fun. It was just managing tires, paying attention to my fuel the whole time. I knew that Salzano was coming when he was doing an excellent job, really good road course etiquette. Hats off to him for making that race for third, a blast.
Awesome. Well, again, Joe, congratulations. We had fun watching that battle as well, and we're looking forward to watching you in the finale coming up in just under a month.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Again, that is Joe Gornick coming home in third today, but locking himself into the championship finale. We're going to give you a rundown really quick, though, of where everyone did finish in today's PlayStation race, see how everyone shook out, because a couple of guys, Rusty, unfortunately, didn't have the day that they planned for.
Yeah. But yeah,
Maxwell
Castro. Go ahead, Hannah. Go ahead. Take it.
Your winner here, Maxwell Castro. Isaac Smallwood, we talked about it, coming home in second. Just heard from Joe Gornick, obviously ecstatic about that third place finish. Looks like he'll carry some momentum, and looking forward to watching that. Grant Salzano comes home in fourth. In fifth is Scott Brown, Mike Bross, Chase Williamson, rebounding from an early wreck, comes home in seventh, and Vinny McDonald comes home in eighth.
Ooh, Trey Norma on P9. That's a really strong run, especially when you run Kyle Arnold, a race winner on the road courses. So congratulations to Trey bringing home a top 10. Josh Harbin, he needed a performance to lock his way into Daytona, a place where he could win at. Cody Giles, a former race winner. A lot of these Pro League drivers just didn't get the results today, but Matt Smith, James Morris, Tyler McMurder, these guys are qualified drivers. They brought it home with a solid top 15, but TJ McGowan bringing it home in 16th.
And rounding out your field, Joe West in 17th, Thomas Kohook, George Taylor, Forrest Hamilton, Corey Rothgeb. Man, tough race for Rothgeb there in 21st, as well as Josh Parker, John Freeman, and our good friend Joey Stone. Again, just not his day today at the Indianapolis Road Course, rounding out the field.
Yeah, that's going to be a storyline to watch in this upcoming race on the Xbox side. Those pace laps, I think that's really kind of got Joey, is you just burning up extra fuel, kind of pacing around, parading around out there. So maybe it just needed a couple more corners to make it back to the pits. So that will be something to look forward in this upcoming race.
I think a lot of the Xbox guys probably did watch this PlayStation race, see where drivers were being overly aggressive, what they could and couldn't get away with. I think is going to be a big thing as well, as far as where penalties were assessed. So definitely looking forward to this Xbox race, Rusty.
Yeah, we saw the first lap kind of took guys out of the race right off the bat. So if they're watching, they got to pay attention to that. Just keep it clean, get through those first corners, and then run your race.
Well, it's definitely an exciting PlayStation race. But if you're just now joining us here, before we go Xbox racing, let's take a look at the highlights from our PlayStation race. And if you haven't already gotten your NASCAR Heat 5 many a time so far, you can simply have NASCAR Heat 5, do some practicing. I would suggest some practicing, and you can qualify for our final Winter Heat Series race just under a month away. So if you haven't already, go get your NASCAR Heat 5 edition. And Rusty, it's about time for our Xbox drivers to line up. They were pretty interesting the last time out, though, as well.
Now, these Xbox drivers have been getting more and more competitive each and every week. The Winter Heat Series, they might put on the best show. We used to talk about PlayStation, but maybe the title has shifted over to Xbox as the race to see. So we'll see what they're capable of here. Daniel Buttafuoco is going to be tough to beat, but he's just got to survive that first corner. We'll see.
Yeah, looking forward to watching them take on the Indy Road Course. But if you weren't able to join us at Homestead, take a look at the Xbox drivers when they hit the high banks there last time out.
On paper, this might be the perfect distance. So you can go about 20 laps, so if you like you said. So it's setting up for a 2-stop race. But if they're really going for it, they're going to come in a little bit sooner than that. This is one of my favorite parts about Homestead is we're going 3 and 4 wide. You can do this at this racetrack.
They're all trying to make some moves, but look at new leader. We've got Tyler Dohar of the Pro League.
Going on board with Jeff No. He's got the full outfit on. Shout out to Jeff No. I would love to hear what they're saying over the radio with each other and then the Zoom call. You know there's a little bit of trash talk. Elijah White leads him off pit road. He's down there in the apron and transition through that blend line right there.
Justin Brooks, wow, already up to the 4th spot, Rusty.
To the front, and Jeff No is leading this thing with 17 to go.
Ooh, into the wall, Jordan Bain maybe having some issues.
Feels like an icebreaker. So you see it looked like maybe Jeff No. Yeah, Jeff No goes wide, and he's having troubles here.
You can see your top 5 can throw a blanket over top of them and how close everyone's racing right now with 10 laps to go. Josh Taylor, pure focus on his face. White flag is in the air here at Homestead, Miami Speedway for the Xbox One driver. Contact between Moore and Gravett. White, whoa, big save there by Moore. Justin Brooks is your winner for the Holiday 60 with Taylor, Gravett, White, and Moore, your top 5. And Justin Brooks did pick up that victory from Homestead, but Justin Brooks is not here with us today, Rusty. Unfortunately, not joining us here on the Xbox platform race. So in some way, that does open up another spot for someone who was already locked in. So I guess he's just taking the weekend off.
Yeah, that is a huge opportunity for the field, but it's a huge, I love seeing Justin Brooks compete. He's the winningest driver in the NASCAR Heat Pro League. He puts on a show everywhere he goes, can win at any track. So we miss you, Justin. We can't wait to see you back in the championship. But yes, opportunity for the whole field because it's usually the Brooks and Buttafuoco show going 1 and 2. But I can't wait to see who else is going to step up today.
Yeah, our drivers that are already locked in. We mentioned it, Justin Brooks, Daniel Buttafuoco, who is going for simply a win today because he is already locked in. Lewis Zader's locked in. Taylor is locked in as well, who I do not believe is actually joining us today as well. Slade Gravett and Elijah White. So you can take a look at the drivers getting ready to take on the lobby. Our good friend Jay Pennell, who is orchestrating all of this behind the scene for us. When we talked to Elijah, though, last race out, he was very excited, Rusty. I feel like he's going to be one that's going to carry some momentum as well today in the race. He does roll off in the top 4, but there's a couple other guys to maybe keep an eye on, see if they can contend with Buttafuoco, would you say?
Yeah, Elijah White will be tough to beat. He's in the 12th car, but keep an eye on Maxwell Castro's Chip Ganassi teammate. We talked about how strong they are. Louis Zader is going to be tough to beat. He's going to be right there. I feel like right on the heels of Buttafuoco. We've seen it in previous races, Mid-Ohio, right there. Other road courses, Louis Zader is right there, and I think he's ready to kind of bring it to Buttafuoco today. We'll see.
I feel like that's the biggest challenge here today as we watched Castro be able to really walk away with the win once he got away from Smallwood. I think the biggest thing is being able to continually put pressure on these drivers because it is so difficult to hit your marks every single corner throughout this road course. If you have someone, putting the pressure on you, you're more likely to slip up a little bit. But if you can get away, that gives these drivers a moment to relax. So I think these first couple laps out are going to be really detrimental to Louis Zader and being able to capture this win.
Yeah, Buttafuoco is one of those guys that rarely, if ever, makes mistakes. So Luis Zader's really going to have to pressure him, or even have to send it on him for once to just move him up out of the way, make him a little bit more nervous, rattle his cage a little bit. But Buttafuoco, we'll see if he continues to be perfect on these road courses.
Well, definitely looking forward to it. So it's time for our Xbox drivers to hit the racetrack and get their race underway. Will it play out like the PlayStation race? Will a driver walk away? And who will lock in to our finale race in February? Looking forward to it. Daniel Buttafuoco, again, tough one to beat, none to say the less. Looking back here, though, Brian Tedeschi, we got a couple other drivers, Tyler Dohar, Slade Gravett, who are in the field, Rusty, starting outside of the top 15.
Yeah, when you qualify that far back, it's really tough to make your way forward. But we did see Josh Parker able to start about dead last, get up into the top 10. So it's possible to get up into the top 10, but you're going to need some help, I think, to kind of get into that cut-up zone to punch your ticket to get in. So it's a good thing Slade's already got his ticket punched, but some of these other guys are going to need some help.
Well, the PlayStation race behind us, the Xbox race. Now moving forward, let's take a look at what makes the Indianapolis road course so special here. Again, first time here that we are racing the road course on the NASCAR Heat 5 in the NASCAR Pro League Series. A little under 2.5 miles, so we're going to run 18 laps in those 2 pace laps. 2 times the tire wear. Again, our pit window being between 10 to 12 laps, some of them cutting it closer to 7 to 8. Didn't pan out for a couple of our drivers in the last race, but we will see how it all pans out. These guys have been watching, they have been practicing, and it is time for their opportunity to lock in. So we're going to take a look at the grid, how things are going to shake out. Your front row, we've talked about it. Daniel Buttafuoco, the man to watch, but the man to challenge him starting on the outside row. Luis Zader starting in second.
And in row 2, we have a pair of qualifier drivers in Jordan Bain and Elijah White. Elijah White's already punched his ticket, so he's out here to go get some cash and maybe a win.
Starting right behind them in row 3, 5th and 6th is Andrew Gillen and Aiden Norman, 2 newcomers here to the Winter Heat Series.
And in row 4, this will be a fun spot to watch with Matthew Selby. He's been a little bit aggressive in these practice races and throughout the Pro League history. So keep an eye on Matthew Selby in the 4 car. But on his outside is Jacob Brower, one of our qualifier drivers.
Matthew Selby aggressive? No way. You'd never guess that. But starting in the 9th and 10th positions, Joshua Back, and outside of him, Matthew Heel.
In row 6, we have Jordan McGraw in the number 3 car. On the outside in P12 is Dakota Long, a qualifier driver as well.
And in row 7 on the inside is Timothy Moore, and starting on the outside of him, one of my good friends, Diego Alvarado. He's had a couple opportunities at some good runs here and looking for another one today.
Yeah, Diego's been strong. See if we can get the finish. And row 8, Michael Davis. And on his outside, Slade Gravett. He's already got his ticket punch, but he's going to be out here to have fun and get some money as well.
And in row 8, Justin Anasagok. And on the outside of him, Tom Flickcroft.
That was a tough one. I struggled through there. And row 10, Sean Anderson and Jose Ruiz in the 95 car.
And in row 11 here, Tyler Dohar and James Holzer. And again, we're 1 driver short here in the Xbox compared to the PlayStation driver. So that 23rd and final position is our good friend Brian Tedeschi. Again, not taking a qualifying time. So he'll have a lot of track that he'll have to make up here starting in that 23rd position and trying to get up to the front.
And we're right on board here with Daniel Buttafuoco. He is on the pole. He's multi-time race winner. He's the defending Season 2 champion. I'm starting to get a little nervous for him. He seems like to be pacing this field pretty aggressively. Maybe he's burning up a little fuel, more fuel than planned. Maybe the guys behind him are burning up a little more fuel. We saw what happened to Joey Stone. If you're burning up too much, you're not going to make it to that planned pit window, and your race is going to be over before it even starts. So these guys really got to, hopefully they have been managing their fuel here through these parade laps, but we are coming to green in the next few corners for the Xbox race.
Yeah, you know, they definitely watched the PlayStation race and knew that they weren't going to be able to cut corners, no pun intended there, as much as they thought they were going to be able to. A lot of drivers also now aware of what is going to pass as far as their penalties and how aggressive they're able to be. And again, you'd mentioned it, Matthew Selby running off in that 7th position, known to be one of our more aggressive drivers here in the Pro League and here in the Winter Heat Series. and he's got some ground he needs to make up starting in that 7th spot. So how much will he use the fenders, and how early on is he going to do it? Because turn 1 could be a little chaotic with some of these guys looking to make some ground up.
Yeah, the preferred line off into 1 is the inside. You're going to want to be there, so we're going to see Danny Buttafuoco lead him to green here off the inside. But let's see how this race plays out, Hannah. This is going to be a fun one.
They make their way on to the front stretch in front of the famous pagoda and across the checkered line. They'll get the green flag. The Xbox race now underway here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. They're side by side getting ready to go into turn 1. The preferred line is Buttafuoco on the inside. Louis Zader, whoa! Big hit from behind from the 12 of Elijah White. Those guys now
huge
shaking
mover.
out here.
Matthew Selby all the way up into P2. We called it coming into this one. Was he going to send it? He absolutely sent it off into turn 1, all the way from P7 to P2. But he's got Louis Zader on his bumper. But what an aggressive drive from Matthew Selby, wasting no time.
Wow, definitely a way to make friends here early on here. Ooh, Selby now to the outside, getting the boot by Bain, sends him off into the grass. We've got a couple drivers now involved in this, including Matthew Heel, Selby here that we're riding along with. Clear aggression here between himself and Heel, and there is a caution on the course. So we're gonna retry this one, Rusty. We didn't even make it a full lap. Before temper started to flare here in the Xbox, but I can't necessarily say I'm surprised.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. We didn't even make it a lap, but yeah, you saw Jordan Bain really send it off into that left-hander on Matthew Selby. Maybe a little bit of payback, but you race guys how they race you. I personally love the contact out there in this series, so I'm sure the drivers aren't a big fan of it, but I like beating and banging, and the yellow did come out, so just going to re-rack him and restack him, so maybe if you made up a couple spots from your poor qualifying position, you'll have a better opportunity to kind of maybe put you in that position to get your ticket punched into the championship. So I think guys will come down here in the back, take a splash of gas, but it looks like everybody, Buttafuoco came in and took some gas as well. So this is going to shuffle up the race completely.
Man, with those caution laps now, 16 left to go. Bain on the front row with Heel, Gravett, Flitcroft, and Buttafuoco restarts in the 5th spot. So they'll dive into turn 1. We saw big movers early on here. How big are movers are we going to see again? Whoa! Someone just got sent through the grass. Bain holds onto the 2nd spot. Gravett moves up to the 3rd. Buttafuoco already up to the 4th position. Ooh, middle of a 3-wide situation between Gravett and Bain. 4 wide now. Gets shuffled back, will hold the inside preferred line through the S's. Looks like he's been able to clear them. And so now he's got his sights set on Bain and Heel, who run 1 and 2. A couple drivers through the grass. Ooh, looks like we had Tedeschi go for a wild ride. Couple drivers through the grass, lots of damage. And guess what? We are under caution once again.
Holy cow, where do we start with this one? I can't believe they made it through turn 1. The top 6 cars were side by side. They all made it through their clean, a little bit of beating and banging behind that. But after they made it through the turns 2 and 3, Buttafuoco put it 4 wide. I have never seen that at this race course, and they somehow made it through there 4 wide together, and Buttafuoco just went from like the back all the way up to the top 3. Unbelievable drive from that guy. Oh my goodness. Or is it riding on board here to see what happened to bring out the yellow?
Ooh, 3 and 4 wide in multiple situations, trying the grass, trying the berm. Everyone just trying to hold their position. Not panning out so well for a couple of drivers. And oh yeah, we got one. Whoa, yep, Diego involved in that. Couple drivers that looks like someone just got turned higher up in the field running order and just cost the melee all the way back, like a little accordion of a wreck. So we're now down to 13 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. Your front row is still Bain and Heel, but Buttafuoco now sits in that 3rd spot, so they're going to go diving here into turn 1. Ooh, Buttafuoco on the brakes really early compared to the other 2. And Zader, Gravett, throw it into turn 1, and they will slide Buttafuoco for those positions. But it looks like we may have had Zader actually way off track because he is now fallen outside of the top 5. So Buttafuoco slips back into the 3rd spot while Bain and Heel try to battle in front of him.
Yeah, you see Lewis Zader all the way to the back of the pack. You see a couple guys go off course here, a couple penalties right there. I don't know if this is going to bring out a yellow, but huge pile up here. But that's what happens when you get a penalty at that little chicane at that part in the track. High speed, you can't go too wide through there. So things escalate quickly. But we stay green, Hannah. But I got to point out that turn one, that's the spot we kind of highlighted coming into the both races. It looked like Gravitt kind of got into the back of Zader, but I think it stacked up even further behind Gravitt, how they pushed. They kind of drove through the 21, and it kind of put Lewis Zader off into the grass to give him a penalty. So just kind of a racing deal, but guys are aggressive. Once the yellow comes out, it kind of changes the complexion, the aggression, everything. So just unfortunate deal for the Chip Ganassi driver, because he's the guy I had circled that could potentially get that win here today.
Yeah, Zader, when he did get back on the race course, was about 21st. He's already up to the 11th spot with his eyes set on Brian Tedeschi. He'll try and track him down, or now Davis, for that top 10 spot. So he's still got some laps left, still some potential. Really, a yellow could fall in his favor if we do get another yellow. But right now, Bain and Heel really starting to step away here from the rest of the field, starting to bring Daniel Buttafuoco with them. And again, that is Jordan, Bain, and Matthew Heel running first and second. Buttafuoco, though, now under fire. He's tracked down Matthew Heel, and he's looking for that inside preferred position. Ooh, he's going to dive it in there. Wow, Heel with a really respectful move, allowing Buttafuoco that preferred line, and he pretty much slides in front of Matthew Heel, takes the second spot, and resets his focus on Bain.
Yeah, that was really good, clean, hard racing. Buttafuoco sent it off in there, but they took care of each other. We're right on board here with Jordan McGraw. Oh, he sends it really deep off in there. He's going to the grass. This might be avoids the penalty. He avoids the penalty. He's back on track, kind of pulling back in line here. But I think it's important to point out right here in the race, these guys are battling really, really hard. But the guys in the top four right now, Bain, Heel, Selby, these guys are in position to punch their ticket into Daytona. They got to keep this car clean and get it to the end. The 62 is closing in on Selby, so that's going to put some pressure on him, but you know Selby's going to make that car wide. But keep an eye on those competitors, the 19, the 51, the 4, and the 62. They're trying to get to Daytona.
Yeah, my thoughts definitely go to race control right now. With everything that's going on, I'm sure they're having a lot of fun being in these drivers' ears, making sure that everyone keeps it under control, because we have 10 laps left to go, and we're riding along with your leader of Jordan Bain. And when you see Daniel Buttafuoco in your rear window or your rear mirror, it's probably not the best feeling, Rusty, because you have hands down one of the best drivers, and now he's in the front windshield. As Buttafuoco does the exact same move, sends it in there. Great respectful racing by Bain. Easily could have closed the door, but that would have wrecked them both. And right now, Bain is not locked into the finale, Buttafuoco is. So the best thing that Bain can do is hold on to this second spot for an opportunity to race in the championship finale.
Yeah, Jordan, just run your race, buddy. If you can somehow hear me, run your race, get to the end. Matthew Hill, same for you, buddy. But when Buttafuoco passes you, that's nothing to be ashamed about. That guy, it was really only a matter of time for him to get up there and take the lead. He put it 4 wide at one point. He sent it a couple times. That seemed to be his preferred passing lane, was just to outbreak these guys to get by him, send it a little bit deep. But Buttafuoco, he's been the man. He's going to be tough to beat. So maybe Bain, Heel, and Selby are just going to kind of let him go, and they're going to run their own race here and focus on just clicking their laps, stay patient, and not get any penalties and just get to the end. But we're still going to have one more pit stop. These guys had their strategy a little bit shaken up by those early yellows. It's going to be interesting to see when they choose to come down. Maybe they'll wait till maybe 3 to go. We'll see. Maybe the field will kind of break themselves apart a little bit. But keep an eye on guys peeling off on the pit road here in the coming laps.
And it's crazy to see this newfound confidence that Daniel Buttafuoco has, being our reigning 2020 NASCAR Heat Pro League champion, because we talked to Daniel throughout the season last year and after he won this championship, and he said one of the biggest things that he regrets from the previous season was simply just not being aggressive enough. He was allowing other drivers to push him around, be taken advantage of, and when he really decided to flip the switch on the aggression, and again, Daniel's one of the classiest drivers that we have in the field. He never pushes the boundaries of being too aggressive, but when he did decide to become a little bit more aggressive, you saw this whole new driver emerge, and I think that's ultimately what led him to a championship. And you're seeing it again today, like you said, went 4 wide, sent it in there into the corners, and has now regained that lead and is ultimately checking out. We have a battle here with Elijah White and Matthew Selby. White really just giving the door to Selby in that corner. Bain, though, first one down pit road, Rusty.
Yeah, he came a little bit ahead of schedule, in my opinion. But you know, he's just running his own race. And if looks like Matthew Selby locked it up, getting into the corner as Elijah White's kind of pulling away. But this is a battle for the cutoff spot with Selby and Norman. If the pit cycles out kind of naturally and there aren't any penalties, that's going to be a cutoff spot right there between Selby and Norman. So it'll be interesting to see how they race each other. Selby kind of let White go. White was a little bit aggressive. He had to go. But keep an eye on that 4 and 62. I think this is going to get pretty heated here.
Yeah, if I were to make an aggressive move on the 4, I would definitely be trying to get away as fast as I possibly can, because they are definitely known for a little bit of payback, and not that I'm saying that's wrong by any standard. So Elijah White doing everything he can to put some distance between him and Selby. White is locked in to the finale, so that's good. He can take that with a stride, knowing that he'll be okay. Selby, though, still looking to lock in, so he's trying to track down White for one more position. Matthew Heel right now sitting in that lock-in position as well, running second. Pretty good little gap between himself and third place White. But Buttafuoco has checked out. We kind of thought this was going to happen, Rusty. Almost 8 seconds over White, and he only took the lead about a lap and a half ago.
I don't even know how that's possible. That guy is unbelievable. He's just on a whole different level at the Indianapolis Road Course here today. 8 seconds in a couple laps, like that. That's absolutely insane. That just shows you this guy puts in the time, puts in the laps to figure out just not only to get around here, but find a setup that works for his driving style to find time. And that guy, his lap times have to be in that 118 area. He's shaving off at least 2-3 seconds a lap on even the top 3 competitors. So just unbelievable drive from Daniel Buttafuoco. We're taking a look here at Norman here in P4. He's still battling for that cutter spot. And you talked about Matthew Selby. We give him a lot of trouble sometimes for his aggressive nature and aggressive racing, but he is a race winner. He won at Eldora. He likes the dirt, but I think it's really impressive that he's able to come out here to the road course and kind of put on a show and put himself in kind of in that spot to punch that ticket. But as you see the 62 thinking about sending it on the 4, let's see what happens here as they take the hard left-hander. It's the 4-car blocked it. 62 decided to pit. Kept it off the wall. A good strategy, I think, right there from the 62 to come in right now, get away from the 4, and kind of run your race.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if that was actually planned or if that was you kind of forced me into pit entrance, so I'm just going to take it and come down pit road. So Norman comes down with pit road, as does Elijah White. Hey, take a look here at our top 3. I know we just had a couple drivers come down pit road, but prior to pit cycles, Lewis Zader already back up in the top 3, still has to come down pit road, but when everything should cycle through, that should put him in the top 5. And again, early on in the race, was booted all the way back to like the 23rd position and was back within the top 10 within a lap and a half. So he's right there in contention, Rusty. He's going to need a caution or something to really put him back in the mix with your Selby, with Bain, with Heel, that group that has come together for this top 5. But Matthew Selby kind of here on his lonesome. He's going to have to make a decision here in the next lap to come down pit road or not.
Yeah, we're right on board with him. You can tell he's got a little bit different driving style than Buttafuoco. Buttafuoco's kind of keeping it on the race course. The 4, he's putting it anywhere and everywhere on that racetrack, kicking up dirt, kicking up grass. Let's see if he's going to come down to the pit road this time. But we're right on board here with the 7 of Anasagic. He's doing a good job here today. He's impressing me, but he is coming down pit road right now.
Make sure they get slowed down on that entrance to pit road. Apparently using a little bit of dirt to help get that car rotated for the pit road entrance. Pit road exit also pretty difficult.
I got excited. It does help. I'm one of those guys that brings it into the dirt anywhere to kind of slow you down. So it does help you slow down the car if you're going in way, way too hot. So I can relate to that pit entry right there from the 7 car.
Cycling through here still on those pit cycles, but Buttafuoco down pit road as well. Zader, Selby, Bach, Ruiz, a bunch of them making their way down pit road. Moore currently with the lead. That is Timothy Moore piloting the number 77. Should still have to come down pit road, as well as Anderson. Diego Long currently your top 5. But again, everyone's still getting ready to cycle through here. 5 laps remaining at this road course, and one of the interesting things that I love about road course racing, you look at the slated 18 laps, Rusty, and you think there's no way this race is going to last more than 5 minutes. But you forget how long these road courses really are, how difficult they are. I mean, it's not, 16-second laps. We're talking over a half minute most of the time for these drivers in their lap time. So to be able to focus for that long and that many turns, it takes a toll on the mental side of these drivers here to stay focused. And you're seeing it right here with Diego Alvarado battling here with Anderson as those two go back and forth. But looks like they may have given that battle up.
And you talked about how long these laps are. That kind of just shows you what it takes to kind of be at the top level of Daniel Buttafuoco. This isn't just a four-corner oval with kind of consistent entries. This has got, let's see how many corners we got here at Indianapolis. We got 14 turns, so you got to really put in a ton of time and a ton of laps to figure out how to master each one of these corners. So this just shows you when you put in all that work. Daniel Buttafuoco is leading by 5 seconds right now over the 00, but I don't think that's going to be your guy in P2. I think it's going to be Bain, who's 12 seconds back right now. So Buttafuoco has absolutely checked out, and I think he's going to resume the lead here in the next lap or so.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to join our Winter Heat Series, you can still do so by trying to get in our qualifiers. But you want to make sure you have the best internet in the game to be able to come hang out here, make sure there's no lagging. And you can do so by teaming up here with ITC St. Pete. We're giving away right now a high-performance Portal EV router. That way you have no worries whatsoever with your Wi-Fi. You've got extended coverage, and they'll send you... It's got 9 built-in antennas. There's virtually no way that this can go wrong for you. It allows you to have a 99.9% lag and latency-free Wi-Fi experience. So no more fighting over Wi-Fi. You'll be good to go to play NASCAR Heat 5 with us. But we're giving it away via social media, so check out that social media post and enter for your chance to win one of these routers. So thanks to our friends over at IT Consulting St. Petersburg. 3 laps to go. Moore and Anderson have made their way down pit road, and look who is at the front of the pack, Rusty.
And Buttafuoco resumes the lead with 3 to go. Just absolute dominance. But yeah, the 77 and 32 N00 pull down into pit road. Their chances at punching their ticket are over here today, unless the yellow comes out. But I don't think it's gonna. I think we're gonna stay greedy then. But we still have some good battles here on the racetrack, as you see right here with Norman, Zader, and Selby. So they're still gonna be competing here to the end. But I'm interested to see this cutoff line. Bain is currently punching his ticket. Heel. Moore's down pit road. So we still have spots to gain here, opportunities to punch a ticket, so this will be fun to the very end of this race.
Looks like Zader under fire here from the 88 of Dohar. Again, Dohar started at the tail end of the field as well, 21st to be exact, currently in that 7th spot. Norman creeping his way back up as well. Aiden Norman was in the 6th spot, has been involved in getting his way down pit road, cycling back through in the 7th spot. Zader right in front of him as well. So the field still kind of cycling through some of these last minute pit stops, but we've got 3 laps to go. No one has anything for Daniel Buttafuoco. I'm sorry, but he is 14 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. I mean, right now, it's pretty much like the Kyle Larson in the dirt race last night. Won by 16 seconds over the rest of the field. Daniel Buttafuoco is doing the same thing here today at the Indianapolis Road Course. Absolutely whooping the rest of them with White and Bain really in the battle here for the 2nd spot. Everyone else, trying to just fight for a lock-in spot, Rusty.
Yeah, Buttafuoco is just completely checked out, but yeah, the battles throughout the field are still really close and really competitive. So the strength of field here today is really, really good. These guys are all on a similar kind of level lap time wise, but Buttafuoco is it's just sometimes a guy shows up and spanks you, but yeah. White, Bain, Heel, they're all right there near each other after all these laps. That's really impressive. You got to stay consistent. You got to stay patient to be able to do that. But yeah, just a really impressive run for a lot of these drivers here. Bain, Heel, Zader driving all the way back up from the back of the pack. Insane. Hopefully he has enough fuel to make it to the end here. I didn't see his pit strategy, so maybe he's just on a little bit different plan here, but just incredibly impressive run from him. The 42 is locked into the championship race in a few weeks, so even though he didn't have the race didn't go his way overall, he still has the big picture and opportunity ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gained some traction at the tail end of the Pro League season last year. Has been incredible during the Winter Heat Series, and looking forward to watching how things pan out for this driver in the Pro League Series this next year. Final lap, though, underway here at the Indianapolis Road Course for the final race of the New Year's Resolution 70. Our Xbox drivers battling it out for one final lap for this opportunity to race into the championship finale. Again, for the last time here, you can join us still in the final race. Qualifiers will open that first week of February. The 1st through the 4th, you can still get an opportunity to qualify. They'll take the top 3 of each of those, or top 5, and lock them into the February race, where there's a pretty good prize pool, might I add. So Daniel Botafuco still leading. Selby, though, slightly under fire here from Norman for the 6th and 7th spot. Slipped back a couple positions, Rusty, but nonetheless, still a good run for that driver.
Yeah, that was the battle to watch for the cutoff line between Selby and Norman. I'm sure they're going to see some contact here in the coming quarters, but Botafuco is checking out. Botafuco is going to get another win. Botafuco is saying goodbye to the field. He can't even see him. They're so far back. Botafuco gets another win and wins at the Indianapolis Road Course.
Yeah, checkered flag flies for that driver excitement. But hey, guess what? We have to wait 16 more seconds for the rest of the field to come here to the checkered line, because Daniel Botafuco absolutely spanked his competition today. Annihilated them. You can't even see them in our camera shot. Ooh, Selby, though, here. And
they both get a penalty.
Wrecking.
They both received the penalty
no.
for got the cutoff spot in the final quarters. They both got it. Who's going to get in the gas and down the straightaway to get the win?
I don't even know what to say here with these two. And we've got more spinning down the front stretch here. So we'll have to check here with race control on how this is going to pan out, because I'm not sure how this is all going to work out. But it looks like we have White coming home in 2nd, Bain coming home in 3rd, Lewis Zader, after all of that, may come home in the 4th spot, Matthew Heel coming home in 5th. How does this all even shake out, Rusty?
It looks like the 62 and the 4 didn't even get their ticket. Look, they both were eliminated right there in the final quarters. It looks like Anasaga got by them. We're looking at the scoring board right here. I didn't see it on camera, but we're going to have to take a peek here at the finishing order. But huge drama in the final quarters where Selby and Norman, they kind of eliminated each other with the penalty, but that's what happens. You got to play defense. You got to play a little bit of offense. And sometimes when you both send it, you go off the track and receive a penalty, as we saw. So just heartbreak for those two drivers coming to the finish on the final lap.
Again, my heart goes out to race control right now, making that decision. Tough deal between Selby and Norman, both of them trying to race their way into the finale. But Daniel Botafuco does it once again here on NASCAR 5, collecting a win in a dominating fashion. He'll be $2,000 richer as well. So we know after his little prize that he won for being the championship finale, another $2,000 probably sounds pretty good to that young driver, Rusty.
He's been racking up a lot of money lately, and just the wins. He's just so dominant, and he's going to be in that championship race. And if you want to race against Daniel Botafuco, once again, you're going to have that opportunity. Qualifiers will be open here in the start of February. So you just go out there, put on a show, get some fast times, and maybe we'll be calling your name live, competing for a huge prize pool and that checker flag against Daniel Botafuco and some of the other Pro League drivers.
Man, I should have known, Rusty, how our Xbox race started, that this is something that we would see at the tail end of it, considering in the first, couple laps, we were a little caution friendly. We liked our caution, we liked our aggressiveness, and then, of course, it comes down to that final lap with Selby and Norman. I should have seen this coming with our Xbox drivers.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that race. I honestly did. It set the tone with Daniel Botafuco's 4-wide pass there. I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah, looking forward to
talking. Take a look at the highlights right here.
You can just see there in those highlights the frustration between Norman and Selby. That final lap, literally a couple 100 feet away from both of them being potentially locked in to our finale. But unfortunately, not the case for our two drivers. When we looked at the rundown, it was White who came home in second. Zader, though, came home in fourth. So that's going to shake up how our lock-ins play out. We're going to have Jordan Bain, who's going to be in that third spot. You called it. He played a safe race there, Rusty. So he will come home in the third. That's a lock-in spot, as well as Matthew Heel and Justin Anasogok. He is also locked in. So we've got 3 more drivers that are good to go to race for a championship. We're going to talk to Justin, though, on how he feels about now being part of our championship finale on Valentine's Day. Looking forward to it. Justin, first and foremost, congratulations. That run there was just enough to get you locked in. How excited are you to be part of the Winter Heat Series championship finale via a lock-in?
Thank you. I struggled all week at this place, and then I just got to thank Daniel Budifuco, you know, Louise, and everybody else, Eli, Boehner, everybody at NNR, but they helped me get through this whole week. I struggled in qualifying and started 17th, but with everybody having problems, in that last lap, I don't know what that was. All I know is they were stuck in the grass. And I didn't even know I was in the transfer spot until I passed them, and then someone told me. So, and then, yeah.
Justin, congratulations on making it to the championship. You are one of our drivers that qualified into this race, and now you just said you somehow, whatever happened to the final corners, you got into this Winter Heat Series finale championship. What's going through your mind right now? How, what I want to know, what, like, the range of emotions, how I'm in, I'm out, I'm racing against the best. For what's going through your mind right now?
Well, they told me not to give up at the start of the race, and I told them right before the race, I was like, man, guys, if I get in the transfer spot, I'm going to go jump in the snow for you guys and get it on Twitter. So look out on Twitter.
Love it. Looking forward to watching that. It's nice and beautiful. It's probably 65 here in North Carolina. So unfortunately, no snow that I can join you in jumping in via celebration. But Justin, again, congratulations. Looking forward to watching you in the championship finale.
Thank you.
Again, Justin Anasogok there, locking in another added element of surprise that we have here in the Winter Heat Series. Rusty, again, it never fails. He didn't even know what was going on that last lap. But hey, sometimes someone else's misfortune is someone else's, a gold mine, and that just happened to be the case for Justin today.
It's amazing how that race played out. We kind of highlighted Matthew Selby coming to the Xbox race, started P7. He sent it, got all the way up into the top 2 right off the bat, and he stayed aggressive the whole way, and it kind of came back and bit him on the final corners, and then he got himself eliminated. So it's just amazing how that happens, and somebody capitalized on that opportunity. So Justin now gets to take Matthew Selby's place at that race at Daytona. But Matthew Selby still has an opportunity to get there with the qualifiers in the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely going to be tough. We're going to have a lot of drivers vying for those last couple opportunities because each and every week we only locked in 3 drivers. So we've got drivers that didn't join us on this race that raced in our two previous events that are going to be trying to qualify. So it's definitely going to be tough, but hey, you can do it simply by owning a NASCAR Heat 5 copy, and you can join and qualify for those qualifiers. We had a lot of big movers and shakers, though, during this Xbox race, Rusty. You heard it there from Justin, started 17th, finished here in the top 5, top 6. That locked him in there. Selby at one point was a big mover. I think that's one of the things that I love here the most about road courses. I was already excited about this event as is. And then we saw here today the excitement of the driver. I think this is the perfect prelude to our finale because everyone's excited, but they're also on edge and they're ready to get after it in February.
Yeah, when you tell these guys they got a cutoff race and they got to finish in a certain spot to advance, you anything and everything can happen. And usually when the first race is kind of tame, the second race ramps up with the intensity. And that Xbox race had just about everything. Louis Zader, front to back, all the way to the front. It was just a really fun race on the Xbox side. I love it.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It's gonna be exciting. But we're gonna take a look here again at how all of the race results ran down here on everyone and where they did finish. Jordan Bain though here and Matthew Heel, Justin, they locked in for our Xbox drivers. You just watched it in on PlayStation. It was Joe Gornick, Grant Salzano, and Scott Brown. So 6 more drivers going to that championship finale, Rusty, and only a handful of spots left.
It was impressive to see that 4 out of the 6 drivers came through the qualifiers. Yeah, we talked about it. You have an opportunity to race with the best, and the qualifiers open February 1st through the 4th, so you can go. You got the details at winter.nascarheat.com, but all you need is an Xbox and a PlayStation, and you can go online and kind of get your time up on those leaderboards for your opportunity to be out here for the championship event.
Hey, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll try and try my hand here qualifying. They may have to find someone else for the broadcast. I don't know if I could broadcast while I'm also racing. So I'll have to practice
awesome
up here on NASCAR Heat 5. Again, check out all of our social media for more information on that, as well as thanks to our partners over at IT Consulting. It's going to be an exciting February with racing hitting back on the racetrack as NASCAR fires back up. And the NASCAR Winter Heat Series will come to a conclusion. Rusty, it's going to be an exciting one.
I cannot wait. Daytona always provides just insane racing and opportunities. Anybody can win that race. And we talked about all that money on the line, and they're going to be fighting for the money in that championship. And I cannot wait to be doing this here again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Xbox results will be on social media, so you can find out where everyone did finish. Again, I'm not even sure where some of our drivers actually finished in that. So check it out to see where your favorite driver finished in the Xbox race. And we will see you in just under a month for the finale. I'm Hannah Newhouse for Rusty Wallace. We appreciate you spending your Sunday here with us on NASCAR Heat Winter Series, and we will see you February 13th for the finale.